So we got blown out of work today. It was pretty windy this morning, and just couldn't go. But I got a new upper in the mail. I said that I was gonna be making my 6mm build here pretty soon. Haven't got the barrel for that yet, but in the meantime, Sadie's coyote gun had this little 16-inch pencil, SOCOM barrel in it, and the new upper has a stainless steel heavy match grade 223 wild chambered barrel in it, and it came with a muzzle brake, not the muzzle brake that was advertised, but still a muzzle brake. And like, I know that putting muzzle brakes on things lends itself to accuracy, so we're gonna go virgin firing. I cleaned it, I brought all my cleaning supplies. We're gonna test it out with all the ammo I have today and see how it does. I was looking down the bore, and the gas port is drilled directly on a land. I mean, like dead center on a land. Like, you'd have to try to get it that dead center on a land, and I know that that does not lend itself to accuracy. So we'll see how it shoots. It might not even care, I don't know, but I doubt it. You start peeling a chunk off of every single bullet that you ship down the barrel, right off of a land. I know it peels some off on a groove as well. That's a big part of why we get erosion on our gas ports in the first place. But I just don't foresee it being particularly fortuitous that it's drilled directly on a land, which I'm kind of bummed about, because these are super cheap uppers. Primary Arms sells them from their Radical Firearms, and I've seen them for as low as like $169, $199, and this particular group of them, they've literally almost doubled in price. They're like $349 now, I think it was. So for double the price, and my old one that I had problems with, that the rifling had a bunch of bumps in it, and I had to lap that barrel for quite some time to get it to shoot good. This new one does not have a bunch of bumps in the bore, and the lands and grooves look absolutely impeccable. They're beautiful, super spiffy, shiny, clean, looking really good. But the old one, the gas port, I don't know if it's sheer dumb luck that they don't pay attention to what they're doing or what the deal is, but they absolutely, most certainly hit my old one in a groove. So right between the rifling lands and this one, it's dead center on a land. So we'll see how it goes. We're gonna go shoot. It's pretty crummy out, but the range that I go to is kind of tucked up against a hillside, and sometimes when you have a really bad prevailing wind, it won't be super gusty in there. But I'm also only shooting 100 yards, and 2,700 to 3,000 foot per second projectiles at 100 yards. I hate to be the guy to break the bad news, but they're not that affected by wind. Like, wind did not make you have an awful group at 100 yards. So anyway, we're gonna go do this and see what it do. So I just switched optics on the old one, and got it sighted in at 50. We'll move back to 100 in a little bit, but we'll get this dude sighted in at 50, and we will go from there. Should be pretty close, because I just put it right onto an upper of the same exact style, so. 40 clicks to the right. About an inch too far. Big click back to the left. Pretty good. We'll go up 8. The bullets. So whenever I put a scope on something that I don't think is going to be close, or even on paper, I pull either the bolt out of a bolt action rifle, or I take the upper off of an AR style, and I look down the bore like it's the aperture of a peep sight. Without moving the weapon, I move the scope reticle to where it's aiming at the same point as the bore. It usually gets you on paper. Well, it shoots. We're looking like that'd be about a 2-inch group at 100. So not awful, but not wonderful either. And we'll see how it does. So we got 5 targets. I'm gonna just aim for the corners of the tape. Got 5 targets, and then this is for the red dot sight, because these are even too small. That's a 3 MOA red dot, or 2.5. I think it's a 3 MOA, and it covers up this. It might even cover up this at 100. So I'll just aim like for half of it, if that makes sense. Have the dot cut half of the target off. So we'll move out to 100. Okay, so I've kind of got to try and hurry here because my bullet holes are gonna disappear at 100 pretty fast, because it's raining and my target gets wet. All the dots look just like bullet holes. I think it's going to be high, so I'm going to start on the bottom dot. Good high is what I want. Half high at 100. So it's going to go 0. Saw that pretty good. Ugly group. I think it's cleaned already. Should have cleaned it after 5. We'll go after, what is that, 11 or 12. Good thing is, it's only about 45 degrees out today. And that means barrels cool down faster. I really like to shoot on a cool barrel. Because I think that gives me a better indication of what I actually use my guns for. You know, I don't need my gun to hold together a tight group after a rigorous string of heavy fire, because that's not the field that I use my rifles in. I need them to shoot 1, 2, or 3 shots exceptionally close to zero off of a cold bore. And so the only reason why I shoot groups of more than 1, 2, or 3 shots is because I don't trust the dispersion statistics off of a small group size. So if I had time, if I was a rich man with all the time in the world, what I would do is shoot if I was a rich man with all the time in the world, I would shoot 30 one-shot groups off of cold bore and see where a rifle does. And that would be much more interesting and indicative to me of what a rifle is capable of. Hey, group number 2. Just shot sub-minute group off the clean bore. Interesting. I'm going to put another 5 on top of that and see if it's a fluke or not. Bottom right of the target's going to be a 10-shot group. Barrel's warm, not hot. Man, might have a winner here, folks. So you guys saw the speed of that string of fire, and man, we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So 4 in the same hole. I mean, I was cracking them off pretty fast, and that's a 1, 2 1/4 inch group, which that ammo doesn't shoot much better than 1.5 inches out of anything. So that's pretty good looking for that rate of fire. I wasn't really settled in, so I'm gonna go put that thing on a sandbag mountain and settle into the bags and see what it'll do with some better ammo. Clean it again, of course. I'm gonna clean it one more time here, and then every 10 shot group or 10 shot string, I'm gonna clean it maybe every 5 for a while. Wow, cool. Say deal like this. Little yellow mushroom, slimy on the top. Cool. First things first, I'm gonna shoot a 100-yard group with that dude before I clean this one and shoot it again. Now this rifle is 100% limited by my shooting. Like, I already know how this rifle shoots, but with the no magnification red dot on there, I know kind of what to expect out of my own shooting with irons. I call a red dot irons because the no magnification thing. I know it's easier to use than irons, but I think I shoot more accurately with irons than I do with the red dot. So anyway, we'll shoot this group and see how it does. And one, two, three, four. I can't tell if it's 4 or 5. My target's gotten rained on now. We got 4 or 5 right in the X, so maybe like a 2 or 3 inch group. So the rifle and me are as accurate as the ammo, it would seem. So not bad. I'll live with it. Now, this ammo, these are my 73 grain ELDM loads, and I have never shot a group over 3/4 of an inch with this. But usually they're around a half. Maybe it was 0.8, can't remember. It's been a long time since I've measured a group. But every single group I've ever shot with this is exceedingly small. barrel cool down a little bit, not for long. Shoot 5 more. Pretty good. Well, it's nowhere near the 1/2 inch I promised. 2 inches. So we'll put my VMAX in it. Aiming at this dot, by the way. We'll put my VMAX in it. We'll try another one. The phone started to run out of batteries, but I got a group with my VMAX, 10 shot group, barely over 1 inch for 10. That's looking really, really good. And here we've got 77 grain Sierra Matchkings in federal gold medal 223 ammo, and I've never had this shoot bad. That's a 1 inch group for 10. You can't beat that. So it's looking like this load is the same as it's ever been. This load's the same as it's ever been. My 73 grain ELDs are gonna have to get an adjustment here. This 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. This flyer might be from there, which that's not too good, but I can't tell you where it's from. Now I'm cleaning between every string of fire, and so I mean we're down to bare metal every string of fire. This one it didn't seem to matter. None of the others it didn't seem to matter. So I don't know what happened there. The group's looking pretty good. Can't tell you. Don't have all the answers. So here we are. We're just changing targets. I got some X's drawn on them so that way maybe I can see them a little better. I was having a hard time finding the corner of a target. The crosshairs are just so fat in that old scope. So we're gonna try that. I'm gonna shoot another set of groups with some more ammo. I'm gonna shoot 10s and see what it do. It is really raining. Wow, it is getting with it today. Okay, so I shot a 10 shot group with Sadie's rifle. Was that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Did I count right? 2, 4, 6, 8, 9, 10. Oh, that's a big hole. I was like, that sure looks like it belongs in the group. No, that's 10. So here I shot one more group with, it is Hornady Frontier 75 grain boat tail hollow point factory loads, and shot a darn nice group. It's okay. One flyer, probably me. They say that scope isn't quite the same as that Viper, that PST. I could really get settled in with that. With this thing, it kind of feels like I'm at cross odds when I'm really trying to settle in there, because I can't see the holes that well, or I can't see the crosshairs or the targets, anything that well anyway. But anyway, this is one more group with my 73 grain ELD match hand loads in AUSA brass, which that's Ammo Inc. brass. Don't like the ammo, like their brass a lot. I've got some really good groups out of their brass in the past. But that load's gonna need some tweaking. That ain't quite right. And then here, a final, I moved my scope a little bit, and a final group with my VMAX load. That's a 10 shot group right there for a little over 1 inch, which that's I'd say pretty indicative of how the load shoots. One flyer there, probably me, maybe the load. I don't particularly care with a 10-shot group like that. And you know, this is my coyote gun. I'd say that flat gets her in this weather. So we'll take this data home, get it written down, and I'm more than satisfied. We got 2 good shooting coyote guns here, and looking like we're gonna be set to jet. The update on that, we were heading out. We were just gonna go on drive about and look for some bucks. There's some orchards and things that I like to drive by in the afternoon, and we drove past that sheep rancher that we hunt for coyotes on her property, and she was out on the road looking for holes in the fence. She's lost 2 more sheep in the last week, and nobody's gotten a shot at these coyotes. Her son-in-law, he stays out late at night roaming the property, and he chases them off, but he doesn't carry a rifle and doesn't shoot at them. And I just don't think chasing them off does anything in the long run. But anyway, so we're gonna head out there. I might not even pay attention to the finale of deer season here. I think we're just gonna start focusing our efforts on that ranch and see if we can't get that squared away. So anyway, the coyote guns are squared away and ready to go, both shooting well. All right, so we'll give it one last recap here. We got Sadie's rifle, and then this was the new upper with those 50 grain soft points, and this also was the new upper with 50 grain soft points. This was the new upper with my 73 grain ELD match loads. This, and presumably this, was the new upper with VMAX. This was the new upper with 77 grain Sierra Matchkings in federal gold medal match ammunition. Absolutely incredible 10-shot group. And so that's 10 shot, 10 shot, 10 shot, 10 shot. And then here we have Hornady Frontier 75 grain boat tail hollow point. Here we have 73 grain ELD match in ammo ink brass. And here we have 50 grain VMAX, again for 10 shot groups. And then here we have a 10 shot group with Sadie's rifle. And I was struggling to see this. I don't know if it's these 2 shots or some, I have no idea where these hits were looking through a 1 power or a 0 magnification optic. But I was having trouble seeing this even still, and I remembered that there's a power setting, and so I turned the brightness of the dot down as far as it would go, and then I could really see this target better. And so I think those first 2 was probably before I dimmed it, because I shot 2 and then dimmed it. So I'm thinking those first 2 is probably before I dimmed it, and then I dimmed it down and shot a nicer group in there, because it's kind of dark out right now as well with this rain. It's deceiving here because I'm sitting in the dark, but looking out there, a brown target, even with this blue tape for bullseyes, you just can't quite see it as well as you would like, or as well as you're used to on a sunny day. So, but that's the Northwest, and that's autumn and winter time. So we're kind of back to my normal program of testing in the cool, testing in the cold, in the rain, testing in use conditions. And boy, I really love this. My barrels cool down fast, and this is the weather we use them in. So it's pretty cool to watch loads stay together through the winter and through the summer, and to know that I shoot them in such varied conditions that the loads have really stayed together for me. And although I'm a little sad about this, because these were 1/2-inch loads in the other upper, the other barrel. I mean, I swapped uppers completely, but I don't think the uppers have as much to do with it as the barrel. These were 1/2-inch loads, and now they're 2 1/4, 2.5-inch loads. So I'm pretty sad about that, but the VMAX held together. That's my most important to me. And so we're gonna keep her going. Okay, so I am back at the bench and I'm here to measure some groups. And so we'll start where we began. And so this was, I think I had shot about 6 or 7 shots to sight this rifle in, and maybe 8, something like that, and came straight to the 100-yard. And so that was a 5-shot group with the Speer 50 grain soft points, and that's 1.995 inches. And so then I shot another group with the Speer 50 grain soft point, and this was a group of 10, and we went 10 for 2.08 inches. Pulled out the 73 grain ELD match, and that's a 10-shot group for 2.25 inches. And then we went here, shot the 50 grain VMAX. Now our best 9 is at 1.115 inches, and when we count the flyer, it's 2.25 inches. And I shot another 10-shot group with this that didn't have a flyer. I do not know what I did or what something. I don't know if a giant raindrop bounced off of that bullet at exactly the right time at light speed. I have no idea. But I'm pretty much considering this as my group. Something weird happened there. I'd hate for that to happen trying a 500-yard shot on a coyote, but I doubt that'll ever happen. So 1.115 inches. This was the federal gold medal with the 77 grain Sierra Matchking, and as expected, that shot 0.930 inches. So definitely sub MOA there, close to a minute of angle there. The difference is these and these. So these I load myself, and these are cooking at about 2,770 feet per second out of my rifle, out of an 18-inch barrel. These are cooking about 3,090 feet a second out of an 18-inch barrel. And these are cooking about 2,600, 2,550, something like that out of an 18-inch barrel. So these just aren't moving as fast, and that accuracy is impeccable. That's just, you can't. I personally can't beat a factory ammo that you buy off the shelf for that price and shoots like this. Out of 3 different guns I've shot it out of, shoots that good. That's pretty incredible. And so then we went from there to Hornady Frontier and had a flyer. That makes it 1.50 inches, but the best 9 went into 1.155 inches, which that's pretty darn good. 10-shot groups are weird, you know, like think about a 5-shot group and a 5-shot group. The way these overlay, I would be willing to bet that I would get 2 sub MOA or else 1 sub MOA and 1 close group. But when you start shooting 10s and 20s, they grow, and it gives you a better idea of what it's actually doing. So 1.50 inches. This is the 73 grain ELDM in ammo ink brass, 1.95 inches. Really disappointed in this. Been over it before. Gonna have to make some tweaks, and I'm gonna take apart some shells and try again with these, so that way I don't waste a bunch of bullets. And then this was a verification shot with the 50 grain VMAX, and my best 9 went into 1.100 inches right here, and that one made it 1.50 inches. So 1.5 10-shot group. That's incredibly good. That's really, really good. And so I would also encourage and maybe challenge, because I know a lot of people are going, man, 1.5, that's not very good. That's not very good. And I've had several several loads that shoot 8 out of 10 half-inch groups for 5, and then you go bring out a 10, 1.5. I don't know how. It just, you start shooting 10s, groups start getting bigger. So that is, if you guys are shooters for an automatic rifle with just a basic hand load that didn't take a ton of effort, like that already shoots good in another rifle and don't have to make any changes for a new rifle, that's as good as it gets right there. So primo.